Everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on creating a culture of inclusion, promoting diversity and belonging at the workplace. I am Fatima Hussain, and I am moderating today's session. With the majority of the workforce now expecting companies to implement clear DE&I policies, organizations need to ensure that change is instituted in a quantifiable way at all levels of the organization. This means having to reckon with tough issues and acknowledging that time, effort, and resources will need to be allocated accordingly for meaningful change to happen and be felt on the ground. That is why uExcelerate brings to you our latest webinar series on diversity, equity, and inclusion, so that you can learn from real-time examples and success stories to help you implement DE&I initiatives in your organization successfully. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Today's session will last 60 minutes. The final 15 minutes is going to be a Q&A session with our speaker. So if you have any questions for him, leave them in the chat box, and he'll answer them at the end. Joining me today is Divaker Pulkari, General Manager, Head LNOD and Talent Management at Cafe Coffee Day, as he shares his experiences and insights on implementing some of the most admirable DE&I initiatives within the renowned coffee chain, and why he feels it is important to create a culture of inclusion at the workplace. With many roles within HR, Divaker has championed learning and development strategies for retail and omni-channel models for leading retail organizations in India. He has recruited and developed talent at mid, senior, and top management, has managed L&D and P&L by building talent ecosystems and vendor relationships. He has conceptualized, designed, and developed competency assessment programs for people evaluation, and has played pivotal role in thought leadership in addressing programs to bridge both functional technical skill gaps. Welcome, Divaker. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Fatima, for the wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Divaker, and I'm a trainer. I'm a philosopher. I'm a martial art player. I'm a dancer too. You might be wondering why the other things I'm talking. Generally, when people they introduce themselves saying that, okay, I'm Divaker and I'm working with so-and-so, this thing. I still remember a couple of my introductions since childhood. When I was around 7 years old, I still remember in the school when they asked me to introduce myself, I said, I'm Divaker and I love skating. And that was my first introduction in the school. Then slowly when I grew up, when I went to the high school, I changed my introduction over there. A couple of things that I've learned, and I thought I'll do it a little differently. Then I said, my name is Divaker, and I am doing my CEC. So that was my introduction. That was in my civics, economics, and commerce, basically. Then because I was doing that, so I introduced myself like that. Then slowly looking at others, I've inculcated the practice of being very safe, playing very safe, and introducing very formally. Saying that my name is Divaker and I come from so-and-so city, and this is what I do. So it's like, it goes like this. My name is Divaker and I come from one of the beautiful and historical place that is Hyderabad. And I'm working as a L&D professional, and that's it. That is how it used to go. But I never used to like my introduction like that, very frankly speaking, though I've started doing that because my professional work always taught me that this is how, when you introduce yourself, people will like you, companies will like you. Then I started doing that. Then I started practicing that. Then somewhere in the corner, in my heart, I realized, is it the way that others want me to introduce, I should do that way? Or should I introduce the way I wanted to do? Reason being because I love the way I am. I don't have to change for anybody else. That is my uniqueness. I'm Divaker. I love dancing. I'm a salsa professional. I'm Divaker. I'm a martial art player. I'm Divaker and I love cooking. This is what I do on daily basis. And why should I introduce saying that I'm Divaker and I'm a trainer? Then things have changed. The second I started behaving and introducing or putting across my characters in front of people, there are some people who were not liking it. There were many people who started liking it. Reason being because they are getting to know what I am actually. what I am as a person, what I am in my characteristic, and then people started liking it and they started accepting it. Now, this is the first thing that I've changed in my behavior, is to introduce what I am, not what people wanted to listen. This is what I am, and this is how I would like to be, and this is how I will introduce myself. So once again, guys, my name is Divaker, and I love dancing, and I love being philosopher, and I love influencing people, and I love helping people upskill their talent. And that is what is me. Okay. Now, before we go ahead and start about the session, I want to tell you a small story. The story is about me. Okay. When I started my work career, I still remember I got an offer in Mumbai, and I was supposed to shift from Hyderabad to Mumbai. Okay, but one day my mom said, "Can you come and help me in kitchen?" I was like wondering, why is my mom's all of a sudden asking me to come and help me in kitchen? Though I went, and she said, "Can you cut a few vegetables for me?" And I was like, "Okay, I've never done that throughout my childhood." And all of a sudden, in the age of 30, my mom is asking me to cut vegetables. Okay, well, I did that. I did that, and she said, "I'm a little tired. Can you actually fire the stove, the gas, and then can you help me out in today's cooking?" I was like, "Okay." I somewhere in the mind, I was like, "There's something wrong with my mom today. What is it she's asking me to do?" Generally, she asks my sister or my bhabi to do all of these things, and she's asking me to do. Though I did that, I enjoyed cooking that day. I've learned how to cook Hyderabadi chicken that day. Then, then it went on for 3 days continuously like that. Though I was seeing my mom doing other stuff very well, and then when it comes to kitchen and setting up a bed and all, she started asking me to do all those things. She told the maid also, "You're not going to clean Divakar's room from today onwards. He'll do it himself." And I was like, "Okay." I did not ask too many questions to my mom, but yeah, I did that for 3 days. And the fourth day was my traveling. And out of curiosity, I asked my mom, "Ma, you made me do all these things. I didn't understand why you made me do all these things. Though, generally you do it everything at home when it comes to cleaning and cooking and all of those things." Then she said, "You're going to Bombay, right?" I said, "Yeah." Then she said, "Then who will help you over there?" I said, "Obviously, I'll eat in the hotel. I'll have a cook." "No, imagine there is no cook. What will you do?" I said, "I'll eat in hotel. What is there in that?" Then she said, "Imagine there is no hotel nearby. What will you do?" Then I said, I was like, "Okay, then I'll have to do something. I will cook myself. So that's why I made you to do this thing." Then my second question was, "But since childhood, sister was doing, and after my brother's marriage, my bhabhi was doing, or you were cooking at home. So why all of a sudden you made me do these things?" She said, "Cooking or cleaning house is not a woman's job. It's everybody's job." And that's the thought she put me in my mind that day and sent me to Mumbai. And till date, I do everything myself at home. And especially in Corona time, these things have actually helped me to do these things. And all thanks to my mom, who taught me and put this thought in my mind, saying that every job, everybody can do it. There is no job that is defined saying that this job will be done only by women or this job will be done only by men. A man can do women's job also, women can do men's job also. That means they're all equal. Anybody can do anything. Now that thought sat in my mind, and when I still remember my first assignment in the organization on the diversity. I was wondering, how would I go ahead and make this project successful? Then this thought came into my mind. Why am I actually worried about it? The jobs that are there, not only a man, a woman, or anybody can do it who have a skill, who have a knowledge, who have a right attitude to perform. That's it. That is what I need to check in a person. I really don't have to really worry about, whether I will get people, should I recruit men or should I recruit women over here, too many. No, I don't have to worry. It's just that I need to find the right talent. That's it. Okay, that is one story. Now, when I got this assignment, they said diversity is all about bringing women into the picture. And I said, okay, so bringing women, you mean to say, I asked my boss, bringing women, you mean to say that in the office, no men will work? She said, no, it doesn't mean that. It means we need to increase the percentage of women in our office. I said, why is that so? She said, that's the target, we got it. We have to do it. So that is all about diversity. And I was like wondering, is diversity, just getting a woman into the picture is diversity? Then I went and did my research. The first thing that I've learned is that you need to have a knowledge on diversity. Without knowledge, you cannot work on any project in other ways also. But any project that you take, you need to really have a knowledge in diversity, and that makes your work very easy. And that is what I did. The first thing that I did is I did research on diversity. What is diversity all about? Why organizations started all of a sudden focusing on this diversity? This was way back in 2008, okay? And I was like, okay, let me check. And I read a lot of things. Then I understood in the old, in the Stone Age, basically, it was nowhere written, but yeah, in the Stone Age, it was defined by the intelligent people in those days saying that the men will go out to work in the field and the women will take care of the kids at the home. That is the tradition that has been followed for years together. And in a couple of communities, it has been a religious now. Men will work and women should sit at home. That's it. That is period. That's it. There's no other questions asked. And I've seen my mom also doing that, actually. Though she was a graduate, after marriage, she became a homemaker. My dad used to work, my mom used to sit and take care of us. Morning, she used to get up, cook, clean the house, wash our clothes, and that has become our daily routine. And that is because it was being told by elders or in those days people that this is how it will continue, and that is how it continued. Okay, that was one story. And then I realized, okay, that's why there are very less women who are working, and there are more men. There are more men working, and there are less women who are taking care of household things. Then there's a second thing that I've learned in my research is that there are a couple of communities which are meant to do certain things, and only those communities will do that thing. Like, for example, if you need to get it somebody's marriage, you need to go and meet the preacher of your own community. Like in Christian, your pastor; in Muslims, your Maulana; in Hindus, it is your Pandit who will generally do the marriages. I mean, I'm sure you all will agree on this. That is still happening. It's still going on. That is a ritual. Now, I was reading why only these people are supposed to do, why not others? I could not find any concrete reason for only these people are supposed to do the marriages and not others. Then in some of the readings, I understood because they've been practicing these things, like Pandits been practicing since ages. They know the religious mantras and things like that, which will help in influencing the marriage rituals, basically. When you get married, you get married promising a lot of things, right? And those promises and things like that are only these people are aware of those things, and hence they were doing these things. Then I suddenly realized my brother did not got married in the temple or in the church or in the mosque. He got married in the register office, and there was no Pandit, there was no pastor, there is no Maulana. then then the register, the person who was there as a judge in the court, I don't even know his religion basically, but he did my brother's marriage. And again, my thought while reading this entire thing, Are Baba, when the judge can do this thing, I don't even know his religion. My brother's marriage, like it's been like more than 20 years, he's happily married, is living a lovely life, no mantras, nothing, just a sign, signature, that's it. And they're tied in the knot of marriage. Then why do we think about only pandits has to do the marriage? Why do we think about only pastors has to do the marriage? Why do we think about only Maulanas have to do the marriages and things like that? Anybody can do anything. And if you look at the constitution, it is very clearly states you get married anywhere. But end of the day, you need to come to the court of the law and get registered yourself. Then only it is called you are married. Whatever proofs you show in the court, it doesn't work until unless you show that registered data in front of the court saying that, see, this is what I did. I came to the court, I got registered. This is my signature. This is my photograph along with my wife. Then only they'll believe, yeah, this is the proof of it. Then I started thinking, why were these people being allocated or been put up in that place that they are supposed to do? It's just the thought process in those days that has been defined like that pandits will do this, Maulanas will do this, preachers will do this because they know the rituals, they know what is there in the scriptures and things like that. And again, my question, why do they know and why others don't know about it? Then I realized it's all about knowledge. It's a knowledge game, basically. It's about the skill and it's about the attitude of doing that thing. So what matters over here is when you wanted to get it done, any work with anyone, a person should have that knowledge. And he has to have that skill to get it done, that work. And he needs to have a right attitude to perform. That's it. That means it very clearly states that everybody can do everything and anybody can do anything. The only thing that they require is the three things: knowledge, skill, and attitude. They're all good things. Now coming to diversity again in the organizations. Why organizations has decided to run this diversity campaign? Why all of a sudden organizations started focusing on diversity? Then I started reading about that also because I've got a project, I need to work on that. But it's always said, right, though you are an IT expert, but if you don't know the fundamentals, then you will not be able to perform well. It's as simple as this. If you don't know how to switch on the computer, whatever knowledge you have, it will go waste. So that is what I did. I said, I know diversity is of bringing different cultured people, different race, different gender into the picture and make sure that they're at one place and they're working together. But why is it important is what I have wanted to understand. And when in my research, in my study, I realized that when you bring different cultured people, different race, different gender, because these people are born in different atmospheres, they have practiced different cultures, they have inculcated different behaviors. And when these behaviors, these cultures come together, then automatically the innovation will raise. What organizations want is innovation in place, creativity in place. You are only successful when you're innovative. You're only successful when you're creative. Otherwise, no business works these days. We all know that for the fact. And that is the reason why organizations started focusing on diversity. It's not that because the government said that diversity should be pushed. There's no law till date anywhere written that your organization should have X number of women employees in the system or X number of men employees in the system. But every community, every organization started campaigning about the diversity, because everybody realized that diversity will help organizations bring innovative and creativity in place. And that is about diversity. And that's why organizations started focusing on diversity. Good. Now I understood why diversity is important. Went back. Started recruiting people. So my first assignment was to recruit people for corporate offices. I said, great. So they said 35% should be women and 65% should be men. Great. Right now, what is the percentage of women ratio in the office? Percentage of women in office? It is 12%. So I need to bring that to 35%. Because it was corporate office, my life was very easy, because I was able to find people very easily to recruit. I went to colleges. I went on monster.com. I went on LinkedIn. I went on naukri.com, got people, interviewed, bought them. And I was successful in my project, recruiting 35% within no time, in fact. Everybody appreciated me for what I did. They have rewarded, they have recognized my work. And I was very, very happy about it. My job was done. Then came the second assignment. The second assignment was recruiting people in the front line. I said, big deal. When I can do it in the corporate office, what is there in doing it for front line? I don't think so. It's a big challenge. 35% I just did it within no time. I said, okay, I will do it. Not at all a challenge. I went on naukri.com to check the profiles. And I could not find any profile for the job that I was, for the skill and the knowledge that I required to perform that particular position. And I was like shocked and zapped. What is this? I need a sales team members who are good at their communication skills, who knows how to sell the product. That's it. This is what I wanted. Nothing more. At least in corporate, when I was recruiting for marketing or for HR and all, there's a lot of things that were needed. You know, education played a very important role over there, coming from B schools and things like that. And here I just need only two things: good communication, willingness to perform their job. That's it. But why am I not able to find people on LinkedIn? Why am I not able to find people on naukri.com? Why am I not able to find people on Monster? And I was like really, really shocked. And my target again was frontline was 35% women percentage. And I don't know how to do it. I was like really, really worried. And then again, I went back to do research. Now I want to share a presentation over here before we talk about how I did, what kind of challenges I faced recruiting for the front line, especially in the sales position. Yeah. So before we go ahead and talk about that, let us understand more in detail, or let us understand in layman's language, what is diversity all about. Is it my presentation visible, Fatima?
Yes, it is.
Great. So what is diversity? First, let us understand what is diversity. This I picked up, this sentence I picked up from the Google, and everywhere you search, you will only get this thing. It can be considered a group of people who are different from each other on multiple human grounds, geographical, it can be demographic, and brought together for their skills. Now, this is diversity. What is equity? Equity is basically a fairness. A lot of us have a misconception. Equity is like equal opportunities. So equity is of being fairness. Remember this. I will talk about it more in the coming slides. What is inclusion? Inclusion, again, focuses on creating and having a culture that nurtures this talent and provides best and healthy work atmosphere. Inclusion ensures that everyone feels valued and add values to the business. What is belonging? Belonging, basically belongingness is in an organization that engages full potential of the individual, where innovation thrives, views, beliefs, and values are integrated. That means everybody's ideas and thoughts are heard, accepted, and integrated into the business. This is the definitions of diversity, inclusion, and belongingness. Just wanted to share in a layman's language. Again, I will repeat: diversity is nothing but bringing different cultured people, different race, different gender, people who have skills to perform the required profile at your workplace. Equity, again in a layman's language, it's being fair to everybody in the organization. Inclusion, how do you make them feel? Do they feel that their views, their thoughts are heard? Do people appreciate for their contribution or not? That is inclusion. Now, belongingness is your emotions, basically. Are my emotions are heard over here? Do I feel I belong to this community? Do I feel I belong to this organization? How organizations make them feel is what is belongingness, where an employee feels that this place is my place. This community is my community. These people around me in the office are my people. The second they feel like that, that is what is called belongingness. Okay, why diversity and inclusion in the workplace? I've already told. Yeah, when you bring diversity, automatically the innovation and the creativity comes into the picture, and that helps business grow. Each one of us have something unique and valuable. And when you work on diversity, this is what comes into the picture. This is what the organization bring into the communities. Yeah. Now, let us also go back and understand, when did this diversity as a concept been introduced? So in my research, it says the word diversity, or the organizations have started using this thing in the early 1940s. Okay, this is when the momentum of diversity has actually started in America. Okay, now how it started and why it started, there is a big story behind that. I will not get into that right now, but it is all available on YouTube. You go on LinkedIn Learnings, or you go check on Google and all. It is all available. How it started, why it started, and what made it important and all. But I wanted to share one thing over here. There was an organization wherein they recruited a woman in the board, the first woman in the board, and significantly in a couple of years they have seen the company's performance percentage, or a growth percentage, being increased. This research was done by Harvard University in the year 1970 or something like that, and that is when Harvard University has published in the 1970s saying that this I will not take the organization name. So there are a couple of content which is copyright and all, because I read it on Google, so I'm just quoting that. Then the Harvard University has actually published this, saying that this organization in the leadership board, when they have introduced a woman in the leadership board, they have seen a significant growth in the performance, organization performance. And by publishing that, a lot of organizations have realized and took it forward, saying that we should bring women in our leadership board, and that momentum has started continuing since then, and it's still continuing now. We see a lot of organizations having a woman on board. Okay, I wanted to share something over here, a very interesting thing, which can be connected why women on board and things like that. Okay, but there was this CA I was supposed to recruit. I was interviewing CA. She was just passed out of college, and she scored high. And when I was interviewing, after my interview, she asked me a couple of questions. When I asked her, "Is there anything that you wanted to ask?" The first thing that she asked is, "What is the women ratio in your organization?" And I was like, "Okay." First of all, in my mind, back of my mind, I was thinking, why is she asking me this question? But though I said that, any questions that you wanted to ask, so hence I have to answer that question. Then I said, yeah, we have around 20% right now, and we are trying to increase that. Then she asked department-wise, in each department, how many women are there? Then I said, in IT, we have very less number of women because there are a lot of night shifts, and also we've recruited men over there. And in SCM also, because in the corporate office, very few, but in the logistic department, we have very few women working over there, because even there's a lot of challenges taking a woman, because they need to work in night shifts and things like that. Then she asked me, how many people on the board? Then I said, yeah, we have out of 12, we have around two women who are on the board. Then she said, out of that 10 men who are working on the board, are they from different organizations that have joined? Are they part of the family members? I said 6-7 people are the family members, and rest of them are have joined from various organizations with various experiences and things like that. She directly refused the job, and she said, I will think about it and I'll get back to you. Instead of me saying that, generally HRs do that but we will get back to you and things like that, but she did that. And I was like, okay, why do you say that you wanted to get back to me later? You'll think about it and things like that, because this offer is a very good offer, and you are going to be in one of the finest company and one of the biggest organization of India if you be part of this organization. Then she told me, if I have to join this company, I also have to see my growth. And looking at whatever is right now, I don't think so. In next 10 years, I will grow in this organization. Reason being, because if you look at your board has all the family members, not a diverse people in the board. And each of your departments, people who are working, you have given importance to the men, but not to the women, believing that women cannot do that job. Now, as a woman, I have my own constraints joining your organization. So hence, please excuse me, I would take more time and think about it and come back. Now, for the fact, I know that she had another offer, which was much lesser pay, much lesser benefits. But later, after a month, I got to know that she joined that organization, not my organization where I was working. And why am I telling this story? Because this entire thing has helped me when I was recruiting people. All these experiences have actually helped me in doing a great job. And I've made sure that when I was working on diversity, I got that success rate. And it is all because of these kind of experiences that I had in my career. Okay, going back to the next slide. Now, what are the benefits of diversity and inclusion in the workplace? As we discussed in the earlier, that one of the things is innovation and creativity. But apart from that, the benefits of diversity and inclusion is better financial results. Why? As I said, when innovation and creativity is in place, automatically your company growth will increase, because the customers wanted an innovative things, or new things every time, and that can only come by innovation. And innovation can only happen when you have diverse people in the system. And why diverse people in the system? Because when they come from different culture, different atmospheres, they inculcate certain practices. They learn certain things that you and I don't know, but they might know. For an example, you must have seen this couple of restaurants in your cities, wherever you are. Like in Bangalore, I see Hyderabadi biryani. In Telangana, I see Bengali food. In a couple of places, I've seen that Rajasthani restaurant. And why these things? And why these restaurants are doing good in different places? Because people wanted newness. And newness can come when there are diverse people in your city who are doing business. Okay, if I wanted to eat a fish, it doesn't mean I have to go to Kolkata and eat the fish. If I wanted to eat dokla, doesn't mean I need to go to Gujarat and eat. These days, it is available here also. In Bangalore also, it is available. In Hyderabad also, it is available. And it is all because of diverse thought process in the communities. Accepting, the cities started accepting, the people started accepting these kind of things. And that is how the organizations also started focusing on the diversity more. Because when people have practiced certain things, they become expert in that. And when they become expert in that, they can bring a very unique thought process to your table. And when they bring a very unique thought process to the table, automatically innovation comes into the picture. And when innovation comes into the picture, automatically your financial results will be very, very high. And what else? Better teams. It's proven that more diverse companies are often more innovative. As I said, when you have a diverse team, people learn from each other. They feel good about it. They feel great about it. Yeah, there is a newness in the team always when you have a diverse team, and hence teams become better and better, and they perform better. And higher retention rate. Why higher retention rate? A higher retention rate of talent and knowledge with strong practices, an employee feels heard, valued, as a sense of belongingness to an organization. So automatically, when you have a diverse employees in your organization, your retention rate will also automatically will increase, because company will anyways not take out, they practice certain things that will help employees stay back and enhance employee satisfaction. Because when you start achieving, or when you start seeing success, employees feel good about it and great about it, and automatically every employee feels satisfied. As a team, when you achieve certain things, the entire team feels great about it. It's not only one person, but entire team, because it becomes entire team's contribution. So automatically teams feel good about it. And a global think tank, as I said, as I given the example of, different culture, foods that are available in different cities these days, available in every place these days, that itself clearly shows that I really don't have to go to Gujarat to eat dokla, because it is available in my city itself. That means your city has everything. When you have a diverse working culture, automatically your knowledge base will automatically increase in your organization. And that's why we say a global think tank. And a global think tank is basically having a knowledge base in your organization. And then, as we discussed about enhanced performance, automatically the employee performance rate will also improve. A preferred brand image. Now, what is this preferred brand image? Your employees will become your brand ambassadors. How they will become brand ambassadors? Now, as an organization, if I have to advertise my brand or my products in various communities, that can happen through your internal customers first. That will always happen with internal customers, because people coming from diverse communities, they go and talk to their community saying that this is what is my product, this is where I work. And automatically they become the brand ambassadors of your organization, of your products, yeah, of your team. Yeah, a strong knowledge base, as I said. When you have a diverse people working in your organization, a strong knowledge base will increase. That will always help bring new ideas to the table, new thought process to the table. Okay. Now, this is what is the fundamentals. What exactly is diversity? What diversity can do? The definition of diversity we've discussed till now. Now we will talk again. We will go back and talk about the challenges that I faced while recruiting people and increasing the percentage of women ratio in the organization. As I said, my first challenge to bring people in the front line, especially in the retail sector, in the front line, has been a biggest challenge because I was not getting a good set of people to recruit, and that was happening because the urban life, people who live in the urban society have understood the importance of education. And when you educate your children, or when you make them pass out of engineering or MBA and things like that, no individual would like to come in a smaller roles. They always wanted to come in a higher roles. They always wanted to be in a leadership role. A person who had completed an MBA, if you ask them to work in a retail sector as a salesperson, they will think at least twice. I've done so much in my education, and why would I go and work as a salesperson? I've done my MBA because I wanted to be in certain level. Now that is what has happened when I started working on the diversity. Then what I've realized is, when people finish their education, it builds certain thought process in their mind. I finished my MBA, that means I will get a higher position in the organization. I finished my engineering, I will get a good salary in the organization if I join any organization. That is the thought process that was there in people's mind. Hence, whenever I interviewed MBA student for the sales position, nobody were willing to join. Nobody were willing to say that I can start my career as a salesperson and go to the next level. No, because they believed that I finished my MBA. I already know a lot of things, and this thought process was affecting a lot of individuals out there to take up good positions and not realizing they are losing good positions. Now I can't go back and work on the thought process, but the first challenge that I faced is on the education part of it. Then I went back to the company and said, when I went back to my seniors and said, see, now the profile that we are looking, I'm not able to find people, right talent. Reason being because most of them I'm looking at who will suit for this position are looking at the higher profiles. They don't want to come as a salesperson. Now, what do we do? I cannot get a right talent, though there are people who wanted to join, but I cannot get that right talent in this position. So what do we do? So we decided, the organization has decided that we will recruit people who are freshers, not based on the education, but based on their behaviors. Now, recruiting in the front line has become little easy for me because we eliminated the education part of it. We said we will not recruit MBAs or grads and things like that. We will also recruit people who are 10th passed, who are inter and things like that, who have the who have the ability to perform, who feels that I can do well in this position, and who feels that I'm the right person to this position. That's it. We will recruit only those people over there. And what we will do is, after recruiting them, we will train them to become champions. And we have taken that call. And after that, I started recruiting. I've done an amazing job on that front also. So one of the challenges that I faced was getting the right talent, finding out the right people in the place of bringing women into the picture. Okay. Now the second challenge that I faced, so I've put up a couple of pointers that I faced over here. The second is right strategy and planning plays a very important role. So when I started recruiting, I didn't had plan in place. Because I was successful in my corporate recruitment, I felt that good, I can go ahead and do it for the front line also, but I wasn't able to do that easily. So planning plays a very, very important role, and knowledge plays a very important role. Now there was a knowledge gap for me, thinking that when I can do it for corporate, I will get people over there. But when I started recruiting people for the front line, I wasn't able to get the right qualified people. Reason being because I didn't have a knowledge that, a lot of people who are grads or who have done PG and things like that, they may not prefer coming into the sales profile. I didn't have a plan saying that, not only grads, but I will recruit people who are just 10th pass or 12th passed. I didn't have a plan in place that, I will not look at only from these schools, from the schools. I will also look at from the colleges and schools who are passed out of government colleges and schools, things like that. I didn't have that plan in place. So hence I had faced that challenge in recruitments. But however, later when I was facing the challenge, when I went back, all these things I have put in place, and I've been successful in recruiting people. There are a couple of other challenges also that I've seen while recruiting women, especially, is working women ratio, not that, but skilled labor and right talent, cost and training and unskilled. Communications, this was another challenge. Now, when I wanted to recruit people, I know that I'm recruiting as a salesperson. Now, this person will be able to do sales or not. Now, our focus, again, as I said, right, initially, I didn't have this plan in place of recruiting from various schools and colleges or experienced people. So hence I had faced this challenge also. When I was doing interview, I also seen people cannot speak English, because all the products that are there, the product labels or the product descriptions that are there, all are in English, and they need to speak English. So I thought English speaking won't be that challenge, and I can get people over there. But communication, when I say communication, especially in English, I could not get people who can speak English. But I did not realize that English is not really, really important for a salesperson. Somewhere in the corner that it was there in my mind, English plays a very important role, but English wasn't that important, very frankly speaking. That I've experienced post recruiting, post training, post putting people on the floor. I've realized people can speak their regional language and make wonders on the floor. That experience, I got it later, but when I was working on diversity, I didn't realize that thing. Then communication wasn't a barrier at all, actually, when I was recruiting. Though I had a thought that, communication can be a bigger barrier, but that wasn't a challenge. It's all were there in my mind that when I recruit people, I should have good English speaking people, people who can speak the regional language also. Especially in Bangalore, when I go to any shopping mall and things like that, I see a lot of people from various parts of India, like people coming from Northeast, people coming from North, people coming from West. They're all working over here, and they're doing wonders on the floor. They're doing wonders because everybody can learn. First thing that we need to realize that maybe initially they may not be able to learn certain languages, but everybody have a skill and ability to learn things. And people who are passionate, they can do it. And the only thing that I was supposed to look at is that people are passionate or not. That was missing in the earlier this thing, but today, on today's date, when I recruit people, the first thing that I look at it is the person has that passion towards the work or not, and I recruit people. Okay, then one of the challenges that I faced is the cultural misunderstandings. Yeah, when we recruit people, when I have this plan in place that I will recruit from various backgrounds. Also, now that I realized that the people from various locations can come and work here. Why not people from various culture also? And one of the challenges that I've seen is people leaving the jobs after joining. Now, when I've done a research, when I've done a ESAT, that is called Employee Satisfaction Report, that is where a lot of people had said, I'm not being treated well over here. And when we spoke to a couple of employees, I've realized that when people come from various cultures, they have certain traditions that they love to follow. And at organizations, most of the organizations have the policies that, when you're in the front line, you need to follow certain grooming standards, then you need to follow certain behaviors which are very, very important. And most of the organizations haven't realized, when we recruit people from different culture or different traditions, people have their own things to do also. They have their own rituals and they love to follow those things. And you cannot put a full stop over there saying that you can't do this, you can't do it, you can't be like this at the workplace. You need to follow certain rules of the work culture, and that needs to be followed very strictly and things like that. And our organization, when our organization put these kind of policies in place, I have seen a lot of attrition over there. Though I was successful in recruiting people, but I've also seen a lot of people leaving the organizations over there. Because why I'm saying cultural misunderstanding is because employees, when I joined the organization, they felt that my culture is not being appreciated in this organization. They are being put aside. They are not accepting my rituals that I'm supposed to follow. They say work is important, and at work you cannot bring your cultural behavior into the place. And that is when people started leaving, that they felt that this place does not belong to me. This is not my place. This is not my people where I would love to work. And I've seen a huge attrition over there. I'll also tell you what solution that I found over here and what most of the organizations started doing these days. Then one of the things that I've also seen is the slower decision making. When we bring people from various cultures, not only the innovation and creative would be in place, but also you'll see in the decision making, you will have a rapid, slowdown. Reason being because each person being little individual, they feel that my idea is a greater idea than others' idea. Because I come from this culture, so I know my idea always been successful. And I feel that my idea is great. And likewise, the opposite person also thinks. And when your leader is also into this, then it becomes a very big challenge. And I've seen that challenges. Okay, I've seen challenges in taking the decision because not everybody are accepting and not everybody are aligned to that decision. And hence the decision pace automatically has gone down. Now, biased inclusion. So inequitable is bias. So when we say bias, when we say bias, is a lot of, I've also seen that after me recruiting and after me being successful in my recruitments, my job was over. But when I see a huge attrition, that is when I realized why people started leaving. And people started leaving because of their managers. A lot of you all will agree on this. When people leave, they also say that one of the reasons that I'm leaving is because of my manager. Now, when I sat with a couple of managers to understand what are the challenges, I also realized that managers, most of the managers, not everybody, of course, there are a couple of people who actually are biased towards their own people. So when I say their own people, so you have a manager who had come from certain community, and you have a peer who was subordinate who had come from the same community. So there is a bias between that also. So he gives more importance to this person, giving importance to the other person. Okay, then what happens when you are biased? When leaders are biased, then automatically people feel that, employees feel that they're not heard, they're not listened, they're not valued, and then automatically people leave. And I've seen that. Then there's an attrition rate automatically keeps increasing, and I've seen that in the organization. Discrimination is one of the biggest challenge. Like for an example, people in retail frontline, we also recruit people from tier 2, tier 3 also. Now in urban culture, urban people who are lived in urban culture, they have a different ways and means of putting themselves across, presenting themselves across. Like for an example, I still remember when I was doing one of the trainings, I went and shook hand with everyone, and one of the girl in the training, she did not shook her hand. She said namaste, and I was like, why namaste? Why can't you shake hand? What is the problem? No sir, I'm comfortable saying namaste, not this thing. Then at that point of time, I did this. I need to accept this. At that point of time, I felt, oh, people coming from rural areas, they have these challenges, man. They don't understand. Then I have to give a gyan saying that, now you are working in a retail sector, you get customers who will come and shake hand, and, who are little different, because you're not in a village anymore. You are in a city. You need to change your behaviors and things like that. Okay, discrimination on a lot of other things I've seen happening at the workplace, and because of that also people started leaving the organization. And another thing is working hours for women, especially for women. Though I've worked on recruiting 35% of women in the organization, but people started leaving because working hours was very odd for them. They could not sustain. They said, after 6 I need to be at home. I cannot work after 6 because I feel I'm not safe. I cannot go alone home from office after 6 o'clock or after 8 o'clock or after 9 o'clock. So I need to leave at 6 o'clock sharp. So your office working hours are different, so I cannot work. Yeah. Then safety at workplace played a very important role. People started leaving because they felt they're not safe at workplace. Then there were not only women, but I also see men leaving the organization. Then when I realized why when men are leaving, I see that couple of men, not everybody, of course, there are a couple of men in the organization who felt they don't like reporting to the woman boss. Their behaviors were not matching. Their thought process were not matching. She talks different. I have a different perspective on my project, and they're leaving. Then there are a lot of challenges on traveling, like a couple of area managers or regional managers. When we recruited women over in that position, they also left organizations. They said, too much of traveling, I can't travel so much. I was like, okay, then what do we do? They said, no, this is not for me. I thought it will be only 1 day in a week or 1 day in a month. This is like, continuously 3 days, 4 days. I need to go back. I have a kids at home. I need to take care of kids, and I can't work like this, traveling 24/7 here and there. They left people, and believe me, in no time, the 35% women that I've recruited in the organization has come to 7% within no time. And when I went back, sat with people and understood in the exit interviews, and when I sat with leaders and when I discussed with them why people are leaving, this many challenges I've identified. So many challenges. Now when I see these many challenges, now these are all logical challenges. Huh? This is not like, they wanted to leave and join some other company and things like that. They were leaving because these are all very genuine challenges for them, especially for the women at the workplace. Now, what do we do? How do we rectify these challenges? Was the biggest challenge for me. Then I sat with a couple of leaders. Then I sat with a couple of experts. When I say expert, I went to the expert who actually works on behavioral programs. I sat with them. I understood various behaviors of women, various behaviors of men. I understood various emotions of women, various emotions of men, various working styles of men and various working styles of women. And I also understood the extracurricular activities or extra responsibilities that women have and extra responsibilities that men has. And that is where I realized whatever these people were talking, that these are the challenges that I have working in the organization and they're leaving. And all these challenges were genuine and very logical at the same time. Now, that is when I've introduced inclusion in place. Now, inclusion plays a very, very important role when you wanted to set up diversity. Diversity and inclusion always go hand in hand, remember. If you want to set up diversity, you cannot set up diversity or sustain diversity for a longer duration without inclusion, remember this. And I've experienced that and I'm sharing this with my experience. Because all this that I've not put just like that. This is not Google pasted things. This is what I've experienced. This is what people have shared with me, saying that these are the challenges that I face and I cannot work. Now, then the plan has changed. Diversity at one place and inclusion at one place. I've included inclusion over there. Now, what is inclusion all about? Inclusion, as I said, when you hear your employee, when you heard your employee and doing things that they wanted, making them feel that this place is your place. This place belongs to you. Now, how do you make this entire thing wherein employees feel that I belong to this place? Now, belongingness played a very, very important role over here. Inclusion played a very important role here. The first thing that I did is training people on diversity and inclusion. Because as I said, if you look at the first statement that I put over here, first challenges that I've seen is knowledge about diversity and inclusion at workplace. Now, employees in the workplace, not only leaders, but apart from leaders, everybody in the system needs to understand the importance of diversity. Understand the importance of inclusion. Till the time they do not understand, they will not participate in this. And hence you will see this discrimination happening at workplace, sexual harassment happening at workplace and things like that. Then what we did, every challenge that I put, I've also made a plan on that. I made a proper inclusion plan wherein I can retain and sustain the diversity for a longer duration in my organization. The first thing that I did, as I said, I have trained all the employees in the system talking about diversity. What is the benefit of diversity? How would it help each individual in the organization? Now, if I wanted to eat, as I said, I've already stated this, if I wanted to eat dokla, I don't have to go to Gujarat now. I can sit in Bangalore and I can eat dokla. But if I wanted to make dokla at home, what is that I need to do? I need to learn. Now, learning is an advantage. There is no disadvantage when you learn too many things also. It is always an advantage. This is what I've taught my people. Because when we sell product, we do not only sell the product in your particular city, we target customers across India. Now, across India, there are various cultures, there are various traditions, there are various beliefs, there are various behaviors. Now, to understand these various cultures, these various traditions, these various behaviors, it is important that in the organization, inside the organization, we need to have these diverse communities. Now, when these diverse communities come together, that is where new ideas will flow. That is where new thought process will come up. And that is where new innovation will happen. And that is what I did in the first place. Now, coming to the women's safety, very important. A lot of women leave organizations because they feel that they're not safe. And a lot of people feel that I've come from different culture and different city and I'm not being treated well over here. And that is again happening because people are not aware of various cultures and various behaviors. Like I said, right, when women did not shook hand, she did not shake hand and she said namaste, I felt that, my gosh, man, she's typical village mentality. But I did not realize that day that I was supposed to train them. Who are training these people? Who are training them on different behaviors and different cultures? Nobody is training them. Nobody is talking to them about these things. Hence, they are practicing certain behaviors and they feel that behaviors are important. And that is when I started making everybody understand that when people come from different cultures, different behaviors, we should respect their behaviors. We should respect their culture. And how do you do? You should accept, as simple as that. That is period, that's it. You should accept when people come from different culture. You should appreciate whatever they are doing. And automatically they'll feel that I belong to this place. And that is another thing that I've trained people on. Okay. Now, as I said, discrimination is one of the biggest challenge. Now, what is this discrimination? Okay. I don't want to quote things, but I'm sure you will understand. You're all mature and intelligent people. This is only to make you understand that at workplace, certain times these things happen. Discrimination also happens on religion basis. Leaders become biased based on religion also. Oh, he belongs to a Christian community, so he is my guy, he is my community member, so I need to support him, I need to help him grow. Others, I don't care. I will support them, but not that much as I support this gentleman. And a lot of leaders also think that people are not identifying these behaviors. But believe me, employees are very intelligent in whatever positions they are. They try, they find out these things. When they find out these things, they feel that I don't belong to this place, and that is when they leave. And that is where we started training our leaders, managers, saying that your appreciation or your reward or your recognition should always be on the performance, not based on the person's religion or person's caste or person education. It should be purely based on performance. Okay. And your likes or dislikes toward the person or appreciation, disappreciation should not happen based on these things. It should again happen based on the task that you have given to him, the task that he had performed really well. That's it. Now that had really helped. All these things have actually helped us bring that 35% to 40% women ratio back into the system and bring diverse culture into the system and making the organization grow day by day. And we have done this. And training played a very, very important role. And that's what I say, that I am a trainer and I do training on these things. I understand the importance of diversity. I understand the importance of inclusion. And I am proud to say that I have successfully made the organizations sustain diversity. Okay. And today I still practice these things. We recruit people from various cultures, different backgrounds. We don't recruit people based on their education, based on their caste, creed, and things like that. We clearly recruit people based on their knowledge, skill, and attitude towards their work. That's it. And we evaluate them also on those things. And I've seen this, most of the organizations doing this. A lot of Fortune 500 companies doing this. For an example, recently I've been into one of the one of the Fortune 500 company, and I see kids playing over there in one of the halls. And I went and see what kids are doing in the company. I mean, this is office, man. I mean, what kids are doing in this country? They said that we have a lot of mothers who are working with us and kids belong to them. Because a lot of mothers had this challenge saying that they cannot take care of their kids coming to office. And that is when we made this plan that, we will have a special place for kids, for mothers to drop their kids, so that there are skilled people placed over there who will take care of the kids. Amazing that is. When I went a little further, I see a gym over there. Is it gym? My previous organization didn't have a gym. How come there's a gym over here? They say people work more than their working hours, and health plays a very important role. And we believe that these kind of small setups will always make them feel good and great that we are thinking about them. And that is inclusion, basically. That is how you make them feel that this place belongs to you. And I went on to the first floor, there was a prayer room. I was zapped, totally zapped, looking at the prayer room. I said, do you encourage religion? Everybody have their beliefs. Why not? Let them practice their belief. They'll feel good about it. They'll feel good because they are though the atmosphere is filled with different cultures, but still people accept us over here and they allow us to do what we wanted to do. That's amazing. And there were a lot of buses standing on the ground at the exit. I said, what is this? For a lot of women, we do pick and drop facility also. That's amazing. Now, after that, I spoke to a couple of people in that organization. Believe me, the way they have expressed was amazing. It's like the way you express about your mother, your father, and things like that, family member or your husband when they do great things. That is how that expression has come out, saying that, oh, amazing, man, I love to be at working place more than a home. Because I have everything over here. I go home, I get bored. I love to come to office. And in this Corona time, believe me, I was getting into depression because I was sitting at home. I wanted to come back. I wanted to come back to office, and that was my longing since long. I wanted to be at workplace. And people are loving to come back to office because the organizations are strictly following this inclusion practices. That is amazing.
So Divaker, I just have to intervene because we have exceeded about 12 minutes. I know it's so passionate to speak about it and it's so much of a big topic. But I just didn't want to lose audience without asking any question from you. And we can just spend 5 minutes if the audience have any questions, please. Yeah. I know there's a lot of things, we could have just go on, but yeah. Anything last word, Divaker?
Go ahead, that last one. What I suggest and what I personally believe is also your biggest .com should be your inclusion. That's it. And your success rate will automatically increase. Yeah. So open to questions. Any questions, please go ahead.
Fatima, would you just mind?
Yes. Thank you so much, Divaker. That was a very insightful session. Please, audience, if you have any questions, please do leave them in the chat. Or you can unmute your mic and ask the question directly as well.
I know we've exceeded a lot of time, and my apologies for this. We could not really stop listening to Divakar's insight. It was so much fit.
So we have a question. Yeah. How can we recruit women in a good number in an IT company?
Yeah. So, first thing, as an organization, you need to define, as I said, education plays a very important role in an IT company. One is that. But apart from that, if you do not have a barrier of not only getting people from B schools, but getting people from different various colleges, from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, believe me, you will get the number that you wanted. It's as simple as that. If you target only B schools, it is very difficult. But if you also target government colleges, tier 1, tier 2 and all. Talent is there everywhere.
We have another question. In the electronics retail for front-end staff, what should be the gender diversity ratio?
50-50, I would say, if you ask me. Everybody can do it, everything. I don't think so it's a challenge. As I said, right, there are a lot of women who are working in night shifts also these days. If you go to any MNC companies, you will see a lot of women working in night shifts. There are 3 shifts in a couple of organizations. I don't see any challenge over there. Is this our thought? That's it.
Do we have any other questions? Garima is asking, how do you create excitement of turning to the office if the company works in remote ways mostly?
Rewards and recognition is something which plays a very, very important role these days. And more than reward, monetary reward, recognition plays a very important role. If any of your employee does a great performance, appreciate them in public, not in secret. One of things that reward them with gifts that will be helpful for them. Yeah, that is what I did, and it really worked. And couple of recognition is not only in the organization, but when you also recognize them in front of their family members, it would be really, really great. In the hybrid format, a lot of women, a lot of us are not coming to office, they're working from home itself. Now, when the reward for the employee would be appreciating their family members to allow them to work from home.
In fact, the question she wanted now, how do we do the reverse? So how can we create the excitement of turning to the office? The employees work in remote ways mostly. So the challenge is, I think now we are facing the reverse.
Yes. There are challenges, not in every place, Mr. Amit, but yes, I also see that challenges, people coming back to office because sitting at home for 1 year, they have adopted to that atmosphere, home atmosphere, and suddenly coming to office. For a lot of organizations, what I see is a couple of big brands, in fact, in the market, in the retail market, they've immediately not asked everybody to come. They have alternate days practice so that people get practice. So alternate days always help, and that is working out a lot of people. My organization also, we wanted people. We did not ask everybody to come immediately after the post-lockdown. I'm sorry, somebody had put me on this thing. As I said, even in my organization, what we did, we did not ask employees to come immediately and join office. We have given some time so that whatever things that they have it at home to complete, they can complete. And then every alternate day, slowly they started coming in, now full-fledged. And facilities, of course, people are scared in this Corona time. So safe and security plays a very important role. And if you can provide that safety and that confidence, then I don't think so. It will be a big challenge for people to come to office.
Thank you so much, Divaker, and thank you so much to the audience for joining us. It was truly an insightful session. If you have any questions for Divaker, you can, we can send them to him and he can answer you on LinkedIn, or you can reach out to us at info@uExcelerate.com and we can get back to you. So thank you so much, Divaker, for joining us, and to the audience. Have a good day, everyone.
uExcelerate for giving me this opportunity to speak to people, and all the audience, thank you so much for taking out time and participating in this seminar. I hope you had a good time and good learnings. Thank you and all the best, and I pray to God that you're all safe and sound all the time.
Thank you, Divaker.
Thanks.
Thank you, audience. Thank you being there, and it's a wonderful audience. You've been really, really calm all the time. So thank you so much, and see you next. Fatima, you have any announcement?
No.
Right. Okay. See you then, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you, Divaker. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Amit, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Lovely. Bye-bye.